Hey, Sean here from SpeedCubeReview.com. No, the title is not clickbait. I don't like this puzzle. But this is a review, so here's what we're going to do. We are going to go through the aspects of the puzzle, just about it, so you know what it's about in case you haven't watched the other videos that have been out by other people at this moment. And then I'm going to go over why I don't like that. It's a little bit awkward of a moment because this puzzle was not given me by SpeedCube Shop. This was given me from GaNCube. And I know you watch these videos, GaNCube, so please don't be mad at me. But here we go. Before we begin, make sure to hit like and subscribe for more like this in the future. So this is the GAN 12. A couple things about it, or all of the things about it. It is a 56mm puzzle, which has been their main line for about 6 years now. It is their 12th edition with a bunch of different slight variations between. They didn't start with GAN 2 or 3. They did have GAN 3, but that's before even the 57. I'm getting off track a little bit. A couple other things about the puzzle. It has corner edge magnets as well as core corner magnets. So we have 48 magnets between the edges and corners and another 8 on the core and 8 on the corners. So 16 more there. Those can adjust. You have technically 6 different adjustment settings. And I'm going to say technically because I'll go into that in just a minute. There is also the MagLev centers, which replaces springs. It's magnet levitation instead of the springs. So there's that, which is sort of the new big thing. So we have 6 different settings for how deep the centerpiece is, and we have 5 different settings. I believe it's 5, maybe it's 6 for the magnet, and they are adjusted with a single tool. So no longer do we have to swap out the blue pieces for that. It's one big setting. This is UV coated, that's what they're calling it, and it's very shiny and grippy. Lastly, we have the weight, which is about 66 grams. One of the lightest puzzles on the market and the lightest of the top tier cubes. Guess one more thing, the price of it is around $70, which makes it, I believe, the most expensive SpeedCube on the market that's just out of the box and not something that another retailer has altered to give it that higher price. So with all that said, yeah, it's a fine SpeedCube. There's nothing inherently wrong with it that I could find. I planned on doing 1,000 solves with this before I did the review, but I got 300 in and I just had to stop though. So this might be perfect for you, but let's go through what I discussed before and talk about why it just doesn't fit anything that I like. First off, the size, 56mm. That size is okay, and in the past 57 was standard. So 56 was one of the first cubes to get that smaller size about 6 years ago. And now it's, I believe, the biggest puzzle on the market. So the main ones from Moryu, the main ones from Chi, the main ones from Diane, they're all 55.5, 55, 54.5. And this one feels kind of clunky at that size still. I mean, I know 53mm for the new GAN Mini is a bit small for a lot of people, but 56 is a bit big, and I feel like something slightly in between or a 55, even 55.5 would make a huge difference. So I like smaller puzzles. I have large hands, but I like using smaller puzzles, and to me, smaller puzzles are just easier to turn and easier to solve. The next thing is the magnets. So the edge corner magnets are very, very small and towards the edge of the pieces, which makes it very clicky. Not anything super big. I like something that's more subtle, but that click is fine. The core corner magnets. Yeah, that's a good idea, actually. Some of the puzzles that I like have that core corner magnet added onto it. I'm not going to go too much into that right now. I'm going to go into that probably, in about a few weeks. But it's a good idea. I don't like the way it's implemented here. And here's why. So There's 3 different settings for the triangular magnets and 3 settings for the hexagonal. The hexagonal is stronger, but I don't know exactly where that line is. It's not like there's 3 triangular ones and 3 hexagonal ones and they go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. It's like, I think 1 triangle, 1 hexagonal, and then the middle triangle mix. I believe it's like that, but it's hard to really tell. And if you watched a video that I posted just recently, the short that was the vertical format that I usually hate doing, I demonstrate how it practically solves itself. I mean, sometimes it'll do it automatically, and other times I just have to give it a little help, and it'll actually start solving itself. And I actually put this on super tight tensions, so I'll go into that, but it's not turning right there. That doesn't do anything, honestly, because although it does it in that short video, when you're solving the cube, you're not letting go of the piece so it can solve itself. Your fingers are basically constantly on it. And maybe if you're doing a push and doing another turn, I don't think it's fast enough where it's actually causing that much of a difference. Or at least in my opinion, it doesn't seem that way. The tensioning system. Now, I applaud GAN finally making a tensioning system that's just a one piece again. It's been a little while since they've done that. It's always been swapping out pieces. I mean, even back in the GAN 357 days, you had multiple springs that came with it. Those conical springs that are shaped like cones. And this is finally getting back to form, and it's almost there. To adjust the distance from the core, the numbers 1 through 6, it's hard to turn that. Sometimes it turned a little bit, sometimes it clicked a lot, sometimes it actually, I was pushing down, I guess, a little bit and it popped out. It's very subtle to get that. And then the magnet, I don't know if I missed something. Let me look again if I missed it, but I don't think there's not something that you can really see what setting you're on. You can hear when it clicks back after it goes to like the tightest and then back down, but I couldn't really see anything. So it was a lot of using ear, and actually I had headphones on. I had to take them off just to adjust those tensions. And just to find the tensions I liked, I put the magnets on the strongest ones, and I put the tension of the distance for the core almost on the strongest. I think I set it between 2 or 3. I think it's on 3 now. And then, oh no, it was on 3. I put it back to 2. And then magnets, I put those on the strongest. And it's finally kind of nice of what I would like. I would love to see a magnet setting that is just, maybe weak, medium, and strong. That's almost too strong for most people or too weak for most people, because right now it's so subtle, and I feel like it has to be on the strongest one. Okay. The big thing for me is the weight. I was starting to like lighter weight puzzles just because it seemed easier to turn. However, going from that to a heavier puzzle, you start to realize that weight makes a big impact in turning. The centrifugal force that can happen when you're turning with a heavier puzzle makes a big difference. The funny thing is, 6 years ago, when GAN released the GAN 356, they were going to release it with different weight sets. If you look up GAN weights, I have a video on it testing it out. It actually just looked like there were hex nuts that they were going to be adding in, but they kind of scrapped that right before they went to market. So you could take the pieces apart and see where they were going to be. But they were actually had a concept for different weights and puzzles to make it heavier. And the past 6 years, it's just been getting lighter and lighter and lighter. And in my opinion, it's too light. It makes a worse puzzle, in my opinion, because of that. And not to say that GAN should make just a heavier puzzle. I'd like it. But bring back the weight system. That was kind of cool. That worked really well if you bring back that weight system and we can just add in different weights. It was probably more awkward and you'd have to take apart the pieces, but yeah, that was kind of a cool concept, and I think it would have been great. And then lastly, there's the price. Now, I'm not paying for this puzzle, so I can't, say that it affected me, but it's an expensive puzzle. And I don't know as far as design and what goes into this sort of thing, but I have to imagine a lot of it is marketing. So what would I suggest? Well, I'm going to suggest GAN puzzles right now because this is a GAN video. And the ones that are on the market, I would say the 354 is really nice, the V2. The mini's coming out, And I haven't tested the new tension system that hopefully fixes the issue that my prototype had, but I like the mini ones. If you don't get a mini one, that's fine. So my recommendation is either getting the 356M. That is it's about 10 grams heavier than the 12 and less than half the price, or Monster-Go Magnetic. It's $20, and in my opinion, one of the best ones that GAN has ever made. It doesn't have the core magnets, but it's glossy already. Oh, almost forgot about that. The glossy finish, the UV coating. I put this next to my GAN X, and I literally cannot tell a difference. This GAN X is old as well. This is like a couple years old at least. And feeling it, I can't tell a difference. Maybe there's a slight difference, but it looks the exact same to me. Now, I put it on Instagram, and majority of people actually guessed the right one, but some people seemed like they were just guessing. So I don't know, but I have them in front of me, and I can't tell a difference. So I don't know if UV coating is a big thing. I don't know if it's going to protect from scratching, but just bring back the gloss. Bring back the gloss. So anyways, the Monster-Go or the Monster-Go AI, which is just $8 more, or $8 more than the Monster-Go, it's like half the price of the GAN 12, and then you can use it online. So there are some good puzzles, but I feel like for what I prefer, it's moving away from what is good. So these are my thoughts on what a great puzzle would be. What I would love to hear from you, if you have watched this far, put down in the comment section below, what are your top thoughts with a puzzle? What would you love to see with these puzzles? What size? What kind of gloss or matte? What kind of weight? What kind of magnets? The core magnets are a good idea to get things more stable. I would love to see the corner edge magnets a little bit deeper so you don't have as much of a click, but just stability. I think the edge center worked also well, but maybe that was too blocky and less tension inward. I'm not an engineer, but that seems to make sense in my head. So once again, thank you very much for watching. Leave your thoughts and questions in the comment section below. Hit like, subscribe for more content like this in the future. And as always, stop by speedcubeview.com for more news and reviews.